Hello again, I am Jim Bob, and welcome back to F1 Manager 23 Hardcore Series. Tonight we are heading to Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. And as the title of the stream suggests, tonight we will also be remembering the late great Ayrton Senna. 30 years ago today was the horrendous crash at Imola that took his life. Obviously yesterday, which I should have mentioned and I didn't, and I feel bad. Yesterday was the 30th anniversary of Roland Ratzenberger, who also lost his life at the same Grand Prix. But tonight we'll be discussing some of our favourite memories of Ayrton, I think. Not going to do a full breakdown of his entire career. One, don't really have the time, nor would I really be able to do him justice while trying to concentrate on racing at the same time. I think that would be not a fair thing to do. So while we're going through practice and while we're doing a little bit of the racing, we'll just be reminiscing on some of our favourite memories, I think, of Ayrton. The impact that he had as a driver. But before we get to that point, we do have to get prepped, ready for tonight's race, round 11 of season 6. We are heading to Silverstone for the British Grand Prix, and we do have a little bit of work to do. We take a look at our inbox. We have got a brand new ATR period starting today. We've got some cash in the bank as well. Let's get a new project underway. I'm probably going to do a new side pod. We've got an underfloor. Actually, what do we actually have going through? We've got an underfloor research project going. Got a new suspension on the way. I would like to get another another rear wing done as well. Not sure if I want to dump all of my hours into that. I think I'll probably put half of my hours into that. So let's go with 3.9 and 35. Oh, actually we've got a lot more than that, haven't we? Just looking at the number of days. So we can go 52. There we go. That's half of our hour allocation. We advance on. Now we can strip the weight down a little bit. So boosting the dirty air is definitely something I'd like to do. I also really want to boost DRS and drag reduction. We want to find some more speed in the car. That's going to get us about 0.14 kilometers. There we go. Let's go with that. That'll give us quite a nice little speed boost. Boost our DRS a little bit. It'll improve our high speed slightly, and it'll give us a nice little boost to dirty air. And we will strip just out a little bit more weight off the car as well. Of course, it will make the rear wing slightly more fragile. If I go all the way down. No, let's not get too greedy. Let's go with that. And let's go with, well, let's see actually. 43 days. Zandvoort, 53 days away. Yeah, that works. That'll be 3. And 3 ready for Zandvoort itself. So we won't have them in time for Spa. But then, you know, given how short distances that race probably was never really realistic anyway. So we'll do that. And let's see. Where else can we strip some weight and strip some performance? Find some performance. It's probably going to be the side pod. We throw the rest of our hours onto this. Push drag reduction all the way up. Let's ease back on the airflow a little bit. Strip the lifespan all the way down. Yeah, happy with that. Maybe just take a touch more engine cooling away. Let's just take a touch more airflow away, perhaps. Yeah, we'll go with that. And again, looking for Zandvoorts. These will take 8 to 10 days to get done. That should be enough time. Let's go with that. And that's probably going to be it for most of the year now. We might do one other research, one other design project, but we're probably going to focus on research from this point on. Our car is really good. We want to make sure that we're not neglecting next season in the process. Do I need any more spare parts while I'm in this menu? I am still working on an underfloor. That's fine. Chassis coming. Yeah, we're good for spares. Ho Rivera is out of contract at the end of the season, as is Martin Werner and Dino Beganovic. We will deal with contracts later on in the season. We can get the suspension a little bit quicker. When is it supposed to come? The 19th. We're going to saving 10 days. Oh, nice. Okay. Excellent stuff. How you doing, Mr. Water? How you doing, Adrian, Sidhu, Victor? Good to see you guys. Okay. Let's have a look, see what our car looks like here for Silverstone. So, pretty much as we were at the Red Bull Ring, our top speed, not bad, acceleration, not bad, DRS, pretty good, downforce, very good, 30 air, pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty much exactly the same. I don't think there's any real difference in the rankings. Our car seems to be in exactly the same position it was. So, given how well we ran in the last race, we do have a good chance here. It is a bit of a different circuit. It's a very, very fast circuit, and with our lack of top speed compared to some of our rivals, it may hurt us a little bit. Obviously, there's a lot less DRS as well compared to Austria, but we should do pretty well here. I don't think it'll be a dominant 1-2, but we'll make the best of it. There'll be a mix of 1 and 2 stops tonight as well, so I might do the same with my drivers. Put 1 on a 1 stop, 1 on a 2 stop. Let's go with 2 in the top 10. Both into Q2. Fastest lap is the incentive. We are going to guarantee 2 in the top 10 for a finish. New finish position streak, again, very easy there. 1 in the top 15 for 2 races, and we are 1 down on our quali streak, 4 to go. And with that, let's head to Silverstone.
Welcome, and come on in to the home of British motor racing. We're here in legendary Silverstone, where the very first Formula One World Championship Grand Prix was held back in 1950. It's a place where every tuft of grass breathes motorsport, and the crowd are already crackling with excitement. Silverstone demands a lot of power from cars, with numerous twists and historic turns. Downforce is going to be a key factor to manage if teams want to succeed here.
Red Bull have outscored their rivals to be at the top of the constructors' table right now. But as round 11 progresses, the fight for the championship is still underway.
So then, time to get back to the action.
Right, let's start by swapping out some parts. I think I can just about get away with that engine for this one session. Go with that ERS and that gearbox. This car is going to be so slow. Let's go with a 5.5, 11.5, a 9.1, a 3.35, and a 0.55. We want to run 17 laps for Silverstone. There we go. Moving on to Ollie. We'll run the 9% engine. There we go. Let's try something a little different on the setup. Let's go 6, 11. 7.3, 3.5, and a 0.9. See how either of those do. So, home Grand Prix for Ollie tonight. It is his first time at Silverstone in an F1 car. How well can he do here tonight? For those of you that are old enough, please do let me know some of your favourite Senna memories in the chat, and we can reminisce together. Speaking of Senna, he had a number of victories across different circuits. I mean, what I mean to say is he had a number of circuits where he had multiple victories at, but this circuit is one that was a bit of an enigma for him. He only ever won this track once. He only ever won the British Grand Prix once. He did win twice in Britain. The other one was Donington in 1993, but that was actually classified as the European Grand Prix. That was at a period of time when the European Grand Prix bounced. It was just called the European Grand Prix, but the venue bounced around from season to season. So we might have had an extra race in Germany or an extra race in Britain, for that 1 year, or maybe an extra race in Spain or wherever, an extra race in Italy. It bounced around a lot. But yeah, only one win at the British Grand Prix in 1988. And it was a pretty dominant win. There was some intermittent weather conditions, and Prost was leading. Senna had a really bad start, actually, and the rain came down, and Prost retired from the Grand Prix when it started raining. He said he had handling issues, pulled in and retired. Kind of an unspoken acknowledgement that Prost would sometimes, more often than not, would get spooked when heavy rain started to fall, just simply because of accidents that had happened in the past. And there's a kind of a consensus, a feeling that he just gave up on that day, didn't want to be out there in those conditions, and just pulled in and said, that's it, I'm done. You know, and the team obviously said that he had handling issues, but you know, he was being hunted down by Senna, but he just, I personally think he was worried about those conditions, and he pulled in, and that was it. He didn't want to continue in those conditions. And it led to end up being quite a dominant win in the end for Senna. Mansell had a really good race, having just announced that he was going to be signing for Ferrari and racing for them for the following season. He ended up fighting his way up into second place and running in second for the majority of the Grand Prix. But yeah, only the one win for Senna here at Silverstone, which seems quite a strange statistic. 162 wins in his career, 65 pole positions, 80 podiums, but only one win at Silverstone. Right, we're at 89% with Isaac. That is not bad. A lot of work still needed for Ollie, though. Just 78%. Dino says he was only one when Senna died. Most of what you know is features from the likes of Top Gear, The Life of the Senna book, and of course, Senna docufilm. Yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting everybody in the chat to actually have seen Senna racing live, or I say live, but at the time on TV. I'm a little bit of an old fart. I was around during Senna's heyday, and he was a uniquely talented driver. I think that is fair to say. Let's have a look what we can do here to Ollie. Let's go 11.5 on the rear. Let's go 5.5, 11.591, 3.15, and a 0. Nope, it's not going to be that. So we need a compromise. Let's go an 8.2, 5.5, 11.5, 8.2, 3.45, and 0.65. That's not too far away. If I pull that in, that pushes that further away. I think that has to be a 9.1. I think we're probably looking at something somewhere in this kind of region. Oh, actually, yeah, this is the setup that we put onto Ollie, isn't it? 3.35, 0.55. That's close, but I actually think that might be more accurate. So we'll go with that. And let's see what we can do with Isaac. Let's see. Fair bit of wiggle room on this one. Going to bump the front wing up to a 6. And let's go with a 3.2. And a 0. Nope, it's not that. Let's go with a 3.1 and a 0.05. Could be that. We'll try it, see how that works. Speaking of wins
There's
in
a
Britain,
yellow
obviously,
flag now.
I did spin for Oscar. It's a big one. Will damage those tyres and potentially the car. Yeah, I mentioned that he obviously won Donington in '93. Donington was a bit of a strange Grand Prix. It was a masterful drive from Senna. It's hailed as one of the great wet weather drives of all time. There was a lot of the race wasn't actually wet. The conditions were, again, quite intermittent. But it's the first lap, more than anything, that sticks in people's memories. Senna himself doesn't rank it as one of his greatest drives, and there's a reason for that. He actually had traction control in that race. A lot of the other drivers didn't have traction control. A lot of the other teams didn't have it in '93. But yeah, he was immense on that first lap in Donington. He started in fourth, was overtaken by Schumacher off the line, so dropped briefly down to fifth. He was in the lead by the end of the first lap, and he just was like 7 seconds ahead after like 4 or 5 laps. He was just off. Supremely skilled. It was incredible. I remember watching that one, live on TV. It was a masterful display, but again, he had traction control, whereas say a lot of his rivals didn't. But even so, it was still incredible car control, and Senna had this unique ability of getting through the traffic like it wasn't even there. He could scythe his way through back markers, and I think part of that was down to just how quick he was, how talented he was, but also I think just that little fear factor as well of seeing that white and red McLaren, just kind of screaming up behind with a yellow helmet. You just knew, to get out of the way. So I think that might have played into it a little bit as well. But I mean, he was just supremely talented at cutting through traffic. And it was one of those parts of his racecraft that really stood him head and shoulders above everybody else. Other drivers could really struggle to cut through the traffic, and he just made it look like it wasn't even there. Schumacher had a similar kind of talent, but not as effective. I don't think I've ever seen anyone, get through the back markers as efficiently and quickly as Senna. He was just a master at that. How you doing, Golden Current? Sorry, Golden Content. I've got my glasses on.
Give me some feedback.
All right, 98%. We just need a couple of clicks of toe, and that will be a perfect setup. And we got it right with with Isaac. Excellent stuff. So big improvement all round. Ooh, just 1% left on that engine. It probably isn't going to last much longer, so let's switch them over. Put on the 40%. We got an extra little bit of life out of that one. I think it's probably time to retire it now. We want to run for 26 laps, I think. 26 laps on Ollie as well. And which way do I want to go? Let's go that way. Let's go down to 0.45. Got a good feeling about that. There is one particular memory of Senna at Silverstone that always sticks in my mind, and I can't remember if it was 91 or 92. I think it was 92. And it was something you didn't really see. I hadn't seen it happen before. I've seen it happen since a few times. Senna broke down right towards the end of the race. Mansell won, which is why I'm thinking it was 92. And he pulled over and picked up Senna on his cool down lap, on his in lap after the Grand Prix, and you had Senna sort of nestled on the right hand side pod of the car, one foot right up against the cockpit, and you just sort of hanging on to the top and just tapping Mansell on the head. Patting him on the helmet just to let him know, okay, you can pull off now, and Senna just getting a lift back to the pits from Mansell. I will always remember that, and I've seen that happen a few times since then. I think Vettel's done it. I'm sure someone else has done it. I can't remember who off the top of my head. I've seen it like 2 or 3 times since then. But that was the first time I ever saw it. And that's not to say it's the first time it ever happened. I'm sure it probably happened, before then, but I just wasn't watching Formula One back then. Who knows? But it was considered very unusual at the time. There was a lot of surprise. Alonso and Webber, says Dino. Yes, I knew someone else had done it. It's outside of Vettel. How you doing, Cloud? Another race from 92 that also sticks in my memory a lot, and it's often cited as one of Senna's greatest drives, even though it really wasn't. It was just the end of the race that was exciting. It was Monaco in 92. Mansell had won the first 5 Grand Prix of the season at a canter. The FW14B was just a beast that year. Such a dominant car. And then we go to Monaco. Senna was third at the start. Managed to get past Riccardo Patrese, Mansell's teammate, into turn 1 at Sanderbot. And then Mansell just took off. And even back then, with the cars so much narrower and smaller than they were, it was still really hard to get past at Monaco, especially if you had a really canny driver who knew what he was doing in defence, as we saw at the end of that Grand Prix. Mansell just disappeared off into the distance. But Senna knew that if he didn't get past Patrese into turn 1, then he was probably going to be stuck behind him for most, if not all, of Grand Prix. So he made the dive bomb into turn 1 and got the move done, and then settled into a very comfortable second, but a distant second. And then Mansell had that puncture and limped back to the pits, put on a new set of tyres, and then that put Senna into the lead on lap 71 of 78, and Mansell went tearing after Senna, and he was like 2.5 seconds plus a lap faster. He rocketed up to the back of him. He had so much more grip, and that car was just supreme. Senna was a master of Monaco, and he knew exactly where to position the car. Every single corner, he made it just wide enough to not give Mansell the opportunity. And for lap after lap, you see Mansell pounding him, trying to find a way through into every single corner, and he just could not get through, despite having a vastly superior car and brand new tyres. Could not find a way through. It was a pretty uneventful race for Senna until that puncture for Mansell, and then it was just 7 laps of intense driving. As Mansell came screaming back up to him within like 2-3 laps, and then just balls to the wall defending. Up until the check flag. It was again another race that I got to see live, and that fight between the two is just burned into my memory. Also, we hear it all the time. Another classic Mansell Senna battle was we hear it every time we go to Barcelona in this game. They talk about the battle between Senna and Mansell in 1991. The Formula One opening graphics, the opening credits on BBC used to have, and I think even on ITV for a while as well, used to have this side-by-side shot of looking down the pit straight, approaching turn 1, and you had Senna and Mansell wheel to wheel all the way down the straight, and then heading into turn 1, Mansell on the inside line, just about squeezing through. But again, that was such an iconic shot because the cars were so close to each other. They were almost touching wheels all the way down the straight. They were so close. Just another memory of the fight that those two had burnt into my brain. Well, we made the right choices there with Behrman, so we've got his car now set up perfectly as well. Now we just need to do a final run in practice 3 to get the track knowledge up. And we will be good. Alright, there we go. Practice 2 is in the books. We'll bolt on some soft tyres now for final practice. Got to make sure we put enough fuel in to run long enough. We are a little lacking in track knowledge, so I'm going to put in 28 laps of fuel just to be on the safe side. Let's see, your car will make it through, just. And again. There we go. So you may have heard me reference in the past when we've gone to Brazil that it always seems to have been a bit of a bogey track for Brazilian drivers. Senna himself only got 2 wins in his entire Formula One career at Brazil, and the first one didn't come until 1991. And it was a really emotional win because his car was literally falling apart on him. He was masterful at the start of the race. He was just blindingly quick. The 91 McLaren was very, very good, and it was the last World Championship that Senna won was in 1991. Because 92 was Mansell, 93 was Prost. Senna unfortunately passed away in 94. But Brazil 91 was the last of his world titles. And it was a really, really crazy race. I mean, he was just, mighty at the start, but his car very quickly developed gearbox issues. He lost 4th gear first, and then a little while later, he then lost 3rd gear as well. And then not long after that, towards the end of the race, I think it was his final lap, or just before the final lap, he lost 5th as well. So he basically only had 3 gears, 1st, 2nd and 6th. So for the final lap, he just stuck the car in 6th and left it in 6th for the entire lap. And having driven most of the race in 5th gear, he then had to drive the final lap in just 6th gear and completely changed the way he drove around the track, because he had to keep the revs up enough that the car would actually still move in the slow stuff. And he managed to eventually, get home across the line. He lost so much time. And then it started raining in the final lap as well. He was still on slick tyres. It started raining towards the end of the race as well. And he was literally nursing a car that was shaking itself to pieces. But he still managed to get home. And in the end, I think he only won by like 3 or 4 seconds. And he was like 40 seconds ahead. Just a few laps earlier. His car was completely disintegrating around him, and he still managed to sneak it across the line and get his first ever win in Brazil. It was a truly emotional moment, and you can see it etched all over his face if you watch the podium celebrations. He did get a second win in Brazil in 93. That was another race that was quite a wet race, and he was just absolutely supreme in that race. You could argue Hill maybe had the better car, was in the lead. Senna was just cutting through so well, and once Senna got past Hill, Hill knew that was it. He wasn't going to get back past Senna. Again, it was one of those races where Senna was just supreme at cutting through the back markers. Something that Hill really struggled with in particular in that Grand Prix. And a very dominant win in 1993. And I think that was his last ever Formula One race as well. So his last ever win in Formula One, I think. Of course, he was off to Williams for the following season. And that did not go well, as we know. I remember when I was watching Imola in 94, back when it was called the San Marino Grand Prix. And obviously, it was a strange weekend because it was already a little. No, you're right. It was Australia in '93, because he did share the podium with Prost. I remember that. which I think was, sorry, a gnat right in front of me there. Yeah, Adelaide in '93. It moved to Melbourne, I think, the year after or the year after that. It was in the mid '90s that it moved. No, was it '96 that we moved to Melbourne? Because Adelaide was 94 was Adelaide, because that's where Schumacher and Hill collided, and Schumacher won his first title in Adelaide. Was it 95 or was it 96 that we went to Melbourne? Dino said 96. Okay. And it moved on the calendar as well. It went from being the last race to the first race. So, we used to open the season at Melbourne back in the day, which we will be doing again next season. We'll be going back to Melbourne for the start of the season next year. It'll be awesome. But as I was saying, I remember watching Imola '94. It was already a bit of a strange weekend. Obviously, there'd been the crash and the death of Roland Ratzenberger on the Saturday. Rubens Barrichello had a nasty accident on the Friday, and was very fortunate to not be seriously hurt. '94 was actually a bad year for crashing, because obviously there was Senna then on the Sunday in the Grand Prix. Carl Wendlinger, I believe, had a big crash at Monaco, was in a coma for a little while. Yeah, it was just a bad year, '94. But I remember watching it, and Senna had become, obviously I was a huge Mansell fan. Always was, always will be. British racing legend. But I was enamoured with Senna as well, because he was such a combative driver, such a supreme talent, that you couldn't help but admire him, even if you weren't, Brazilian. You still couldn't help but feel, something for Senna. He was just an incredible talent. And whereas I found Prost very cold and very calculating, and I did not like Prost at all, I loved Senna. He was just incredible. And so when he had that crash, and when he hit the wall, and everything just stopped for that 30-minute period or so, it was surreal. You could hear the change in tone from Murray Walker, going from his excited to quiet. And then you could hear the concern start to really creep into his voice as the situation continued, because there was no movement. And the medical cars were there and nothing was happening. And he was eventually airlifted to a nearby hospital. And the race was restarted, and I think Schumacher went on to win. And as soon as the race finished, that was it. Where's my news? I need to know what's going to happen with Senna. TV broadcast finished. There's no information anymore. Grabbed my cassette deck, put the radio on, and I just listened to the radio. Every news broadcast on Radio 5 Live. Just sat there listening for news, wanting to know that he was okay. And at 5 o'clock, he was pronounced brain dead. And it broke me a little bit. I was heartbroken. He was this huge personality inside of Formula One, and this incredible talent, and it was just gone, just like that. And he'd been calling for safety changes on the Saturday, the day after, the day of Roland Ratzenberger's crash. When Ratzenberger crashed and died, I remember him giving a very impassioned speech saying, who else has to die for someone to finally sit up and take notice, or something to that effect. I can't remember the exact words he used, but I remember him making a very impassioned plea that, Formula One wasn't taking safety concerns seriously. Ratzenberger wasn't a big enough name to provoke changes, and who else would have to die before Formula One would finally listen. And then the very next day, it was him. And it was devastating to me. It was horrendous. Yeah, there were three days of national mourning in Brazil, and the whole country just ground to a complete halt for 3 days. He was more than just a sports personality in his home country. He was larger than life, and it was a huge shock. And I still feel that loss. I think of all the great battles that we could have seen had that crash not happened. The fights with him and Senna, it was him and Schumacher, and him and Hill, and how long he could have gone. I think he was only 34, I think, when he passed away, if that. Him and Villeneuve in '97 could have been an interesting fight. Hakkinen might not have been in the position that he was in, had it not been for Senna's crash. It could have had huge ramifications for Hakkinen's career. It's just one of those what if moments. And how, if he got a car that was worthy of his talent, like Hamilton had at Mercedes, and how Vettel had at Red Bull, and how Verstappen has now got at Red Bull. If Senna had a car in '94 worthy of his talent, instead of the awful, unpredictable Williams that was quick but so difficult to drive, if he'd actually had a proper dialed in car like the Williams had been in '92 and '93, the records he could have set, the wins he could have amassed, the poles, the fastest laps, the podiums, he'd have been there every single race. He was who knows. Isn't it rumoured that he would have taken the '96 Ferrari seat instead of Schumacher? No, I don't think so. No, he desperately wanted to drive for Williams. He wanted to work with Patrick Head, Frank Williams, and Adrian Newey. He even offered to drive for free in 1993. But Senna, when Prost went there, but Prost had a no compete clause in his contract that barred the team from hiring Senna. And Senna, as I say, offered to drive for free. He just wanted to drive that FW14. And there was a contractual clause that would not allow Senna to drive in the same team as Prost. So it never happened. But I think he would have been at Williams for many years. I mean, the '95 Williams was a good car. It wasn't quite the Benetton, but it was a good car. The '96 Williams was a good car. It was a very good car, as it was in '97. It's... Yeah, I mean, like I said, you just think of what could have been.
Now it's time to see who'll come out on top as qualifying gets underway.
Drivers need to get into Q3 if they want to make the top half of the grid. With only 10 slots available, it's a fight nobody wants to lose.
Now there's been a bit of talk lately about Oscar Piastri. Karun, how's he been doing?
They must be feeling good after their fast lap times in practice. Confidence can do great things for a driver, so I'm excited to see how they handle qualifying.
And with that, let's get back onto the track.
We may never have had David Coulthard in Formula One had it not been for Senna's crash. You know, he was called up to replace Senna after the crash, and he had a short stint at Williams for a couple of seasons. Then he went to McLaren, and then after McLaren, he went to Red Bull. There might be another team in between, I can't remember. But we might not have had, you know, the long and illustrious career of David Coulthard had it not been for that crash. You know, the butterfly effect and the ramifications of just that one little change. Senna didn't die, Senna lives. You know, changes so much. Damon Hill wouldn't have been world champion in '96. That would have been Senna. Jacques Villeneuve probably wouldn't have been, might not even have been hired to replace Damon Hill in 90. Oh no, Villeneuve was there in '96, wasn't he? And he won the title himself in '97. But Villeneuve might not even have been hired. He might not even have made it to Formula One. We might not have had BAR in its, you know, in the guise that it was in, because that was a Villeneuve project. Like I said, you know, just that one little change from Senna not surviving to Senna surviving could have had massive long-term changes down the Formula One timeline. And part of me just wonder, you know, what could have been. Adrian Newey is officially leaving Red Bull. Yeah, the news story I did not expect to break today, that I was talking about last night, saying almost certainly wouldn't be announced today because of the significance of the date, ended up being announced by Red Bull rather than Newey. So, yeah, that was a bit of a surprise. I knew it was coming, I just didn't think it would be announced today. I thought it would be announced tomorrow. Very, very surprised at the timing of the announcement, but not of the announcement itself. What I'm understanding from the different reports I've seen is that he will be leaving in early 2025. He will still be attending Grand Prix for Red Bull this year, you know, all the way through to the end of the year. But he will have no gardening leave in his contract, so he will be free to join another team in time to have input in the 2026 regulations. If he decides to stay in Formula One, he might decide he doesn't want to do Formula One anymore. He might want to go off and do other projects. I think if he decides he wants to stay in Formula One, then I'm almost certain it will be to go to Ferrari. The lure of working with Ferrari and Hamilton and having the ability to create a Ferrari supercar project, I think that will be overwhelmingly, you know, where he'll choose to go. From what I understand, he's already turned down an offer from Aston Martin. I can't see him going there. The race discussed the possibility of maybe him going back to Williams and going full circle. One of the reasons he left Williams and went to McLaren was that he was wanting to have more of a say in the big decisions in the team. And he wanted a stake in the team. He wanted to be more involved in let's say, in those big decisions. And Frank sort of played him a little bit and said that he was, he would be considered, and his opinions would count. And then they decided to ditch Damon Hill, and that was the decision, I think, that broke the camel's back, the straw that broke the camel's back for Newey. He was a big fan of Hill, and was very angry that that decision was made without even consulting him, having been given assurances that he would be consulted on big decisions, and that's why he went to McLaren. He left Williams and went to McLaren. The race were speculating on what if Doralton offered him a stake in Williams and let him help spearhead a rebuild of Williams alongside James Vowles, and that might appeal to him. So yeah, that could be very interesting. Would Frentzen have made it to Williams? Probably not. After that, Ralph, Button, Montoya, yes, those drivers probably. I think Senna probably would have stopped by then. It's a different era, the 90s to now. I mean, even now, we're still raising eyebrows at the fact that Alonso is still going in his 40s. Hamilton is approaching his 40s, if not has turned 40. I think he's 38, 39 at the moment. Most drivers tend to retire in their 30s, and I think Senna would have retired probably by the end of the decade.
We're back into the box.
Not quite sure why. I didn't see whether Hajar lost ground due to another car. I was busy reminiscing and discussing options and stuff on Newey, but we're a long way off with Isaac. We're a second off the pace, so must have been held up somewhere. Just not sure where that happened. So we're going to need to send them both out again. I'm just going to wait a little bit longer. Let's look and see who is on outlap. So there's Stroll, there's Belajax, there's Albon. Actually, now's the perfect time to go. See if we can get a good run for Isaac here. Oscar currently 3.5 tenths clear on pole position. Has he got a brand new engine in the car tonight? He was woefully slow last night. Didn't really have a great race before that either at Canada. So maybe he's got brand new engine parts in the car tonight. Need to let Isaac catch back up.
I need to over push. Copy. Okay, we need to push a bit more. Copy.
There we go. Allowed Isaac to close the gap. Get that slipstream benefit. And that moves Hajar comfortably through into the final session. The next session. It's 4 thousandths behind Oscar in the end. But in terms of raw pace, we're not quite there by the look of it. Not surprising. Still waiting for a time from Max. Oh, there he is, across the line, and he's 4th. And he's just 100th faster than Ollie.
Okay, we're coming now to the pit.
So, Behrman currently sandwiched between the 2 Red Bulls. And that is us done for this session. We're still waiting for a time from Russell, Norris, Sainz and Maloney. Sainz crosses the line and goes 7th. There's Maloney hunting down Norris. Russell just on the hanger straight now. Norris goes 14th. He's only just through. It's immediately put in the danger zone by Maloney. He goes all the way up to 3rd. Haas looking quick tonight. They're 3rd and 4th right now. And Russell has put Norris out, so Norris at risk. Once again, Lance Stroll, bottom of the pile. Has Has the game finally cottoned on to the fact that Stroll is not all he's cracked up to be in a Formula One car? He's going out behind a Red Bull, but I don't think he's close enough to get the benefit. And now Schumacher's looking a little vulnerable, down in 14th place. Can Stroll drag that car off the bottom of the standings? It's all been very tidy so far, but is it quick? Schumacher has not improved. Oh, Stroll gets held up a little bit there by the Red Bull of Leclerc. And Stroll improves his time, but stays 18th. He's out. What about Norris? Norris a long way back on the track. If Norris improves, Schumacher's out. Up to the line. And Norris is through, so Schumacher is out. That is a shock, considering the pace of his teammate. We're going to lose Mick Schumacher, Belajax, Stroll, Giovinazzi and Pierre Gasly, who once again starts from the back of the grid. Right, into Q2. We'll try and do a 2-lap run, but the tyres might not be good enough for a second lap. We shall see.
Work as much as you can on brakes and tires. Copy.
Right, I've only got one other car on track at the moment. That is Carlos Sainz. Oh, and here comes Verstappen. He will potentially get in the way at some point on our lap. And we've got the two Haas cars coming out as well, Porsche and Maloney.
Go for it.
We're going to be coming up against Maloney very soon. We signed Perez to Williams. Alright, coming up to Porsche and Verstappen. Might catch them before we get to Maggots Beckett's. We've got past Porsche. Behrman, not Behrman, sorry. Both drivers getting held up by Verstappen there. That's frustrating. Evening horrific, long time no see. So I don't know how much is left in these tyres now. Probably not enough. Oh yeah. Whew. Looking very ropey. Isaac's got a bit of a way to go to catch up as well. Here comes Maloney. Oh, and that's worked out beautifully to get onto the back of Behrman. Probably a little bit too close to Behrman, if anything. So Behrman is not going to improve on this lap. Hopefully Hajar will. Where am I expecting to qualify? I'm not expecting the front row tonight. I'm expecting 2 in the top 10. As to where in the top 10, I don't know. I would say 6 down for one of the cars. Maybe 2nd or 3rd row for the other car. Depends how clean a run we get in final quali. Behrman did improve in the middle sector there. Don't think it'll be enough to improve overall, though. Keep an eye on the timing page. And yeah, a little improvement for Hajar, but not a massive improvement. No improvement for Behrman. There's not enough left in the tyres to make any meaningful progress, and Hajar just too close at the end to get a real benefit in the final sector. But I was expecting to have to run again anyway in this session. And that will give us very nice confidence. So we'll see how we do on one run on new tyres. I want to try and get out behind one of the Red Bulls if I can. There we go. Oh, it's going to be Slipstream City. We've got Albon right behind us and Ocon right behind Albon. It's a conga line.
Working on those brakes and tires. Copy.
We've got enough of a gap on track as well that Alpine that's coming through of Sainz or Sonoda, not sure which one, will not catch us before we start the flying lap. But it will be close. There it is, top of the hang straight. And there goes Hajar, and there goes Behrman. So, are we close enough to get the slipstream for both cars here? Might not be close enough to get the full slipstream from the back of the Red Bull. Behrman is close enough to get the slipstream from Isaac. And Albon is definitely close enough to get the slipstream from us. Isaac goes purple. Ollie does not improve. That's a surprise. And also a little bit of a worry. Need the improvement here. Just checking I did actually put new tyres on, I did. Started to panic for a second then. Like, shit, did I forget to change the tyres? There we go, purple in the middle sector for Behrman. That Mercedes of Zhou might not be able to qualify now. Well, actually, no, he's already in fourth. He should be fine. But he's not going to be able to get round in time to start a flying lap. He had to wait for that procession of cars to go through. Ajar goes quickest. Now Behrman goes quickest. Albon jumps up to 7th. So if we can get a slipstream, we've got a real chance of maybe getting one car onto the front row. I don't know if we'll get both on there unless we can get a really well-timed slipstream run like this, because we're not going to have much in the way of tyres to play about with. So when I go to Ferrari, am I getting rid of anyone? Getting rid of Stroll, as long as his contract's not too expensive. Potentially getting rid of Russell as well. It depends on whether Russell's out of contract at the end of this year or not. We're waiting for scouting results to come back after Silverstone. Oh wait, we're on an outlap. We've still got 2 laps of fuel in the car. We've still got enough for another run. Yeah, we do not want to do that. We want to call these cars in. Don't want to run again. Well, we wouldn't be able to anyway. And Norris has gone quickest. Wow, Norris pulled one out the bag. Norris in clean air as well, so that was a very good lap from Norris. Russell is out, Ocon is out, Sainz is out, Maloney is out, and so is Tsunoda. Zhou, who was unable to start his flying lap, is just safe. I think been like 3rd or 4th before all those times started dropping in. Just makes it. By a very, very small margin as well, just 23 thousandths of a second. Yeah, the plan is to have Schumacher and Behrman at Ferrari. Try and make Mick a world champion. Right, final qualifying. We're going to do a lap on these tyres just to get that confidence up. Actually, let's go 2 laps and we'll swap them over again like we did before, and then we'll do 1 flying lap on the new tyres at the end and see how well we can do. I want to keep 2 sets of tyres available for the race in case I do go with a 2-stop. I haven't decided yet. So Zhou gets out just in front of us. That actually works out quite well for us, because these tyres are really, really dead. So performance is not going to be great. But being able to get a slipstream for both cars here will keep the pace of both of them up, which is nice. Okay, I'm not expecting to set the timing screen alight on this 2-lap run. Just want to instill some good confidence into the drivers so that we can attack the track with very good confidence with brand new tyres at the end of the session. or nearly new tyres. So still waiting for Magnussen and Porsche to make their way out of the pits.
Here ahead. Let's go.
I think we were already a little bit too far behind Joe. Maybe not. Hard to tell. All right, we've got a Red Bull in the way. I'm not sure which one that is. It ruined our lap. And it was Max. Of course it was Max. So how far off the pace are we? Ooh, yeah. A long way off. A 127.2. And a 127.5 for Isaac. It's horrendously slow. I'm waiting for Max to come through before I decide which driver's going to have to hold position. At least we're slowing Max down, returning the favour. There we go, we've got a little bit of a gap. So we should improve on this lap, but probably not by a huge amount. We are 3 seconds off the pace right now. Tyre loss isn't that bad.
Could be a bit of traffic there. And push.
And we should get past Max quite comfortably on the Wellington straight. There he is, pulling over. Isaac's improved, Ollie has not. Porsche goes top now. Some real roller coaster type form for some of these cars this season. Both drivers improving in the middle. No surprise there. We lost a huge amount of time behind Max. And there we go. That's a little bit more like it. Still slow, but we have boosted the confidence. Tyres now at 40%. Oof. So we've got time for one last run. Question is, can we get out behind anyone? I don't think we can. Porsche is still in the pits. Albon's just starting his flying lap. Oscar's already on track. All right. Excuse me. This is going to be really tricky to judge because Porsche is in front of us in the garage. You know, he's in front of the camera. And there he goes. We are potentially going to have cars pulling us over. Joe's going to be the first one to pull us over.
Copy.
Maybe Leclerc, but I think we're probably far enough away from him to not have to worry about that. Piastri is done, and he goes second. Here comes Joe. He's going to get past us, but I don't think he's going to get... Well, he might get past Porsche in a way that allows us to close up the gap. I don't know. Well, that's about a perfect gap for Behrman, whose engine is a little underpowered compared to Isaac. 67% engine against an 86% engine, so definite power advantage for Isaac tonight, which is why we've been running him at the front. We weren't able to close up to Porsche, so it's all down to how good a lap Hajar can pull out as to how quick he can go and how much of a benefit Behrman can get riding that slipstream. We'll turn that off just in case Hajar makes a mistake. He's not close enough to put Hajar into defensive mode. Leclerc and Verstappen have locked out the front row ahead of Porsche, who is on a flying lap now. Did we just get held up there? Don't know. Hopefully not. We were purple in the first sector. That's encouraging. And I don't know if we lost time there. We're purple in the middle, so that suggests we didn't. Or at least not with Ollie, possibly with Isaac, but... Porsche is now about to cross the line. Can he get on the front row? No, he can't. Can we get on the front row? Isaac improves to 7th. Ollie takes pole at his home Grand Prix, thanks to a slipstream there from Isaac, who's down in 8th place. Is Norris on a flying lap? No, Norris is on an in lap, so that is your top 10. Behrman from Leclerc, then Verstappen, Magnussen, just 1,000th behind Verstappen in the end. Then Porsche and Piastri, Joe and Hajar, Norris and Albon, the two Brits bringing up row 5. Could we see a British winner tonight? That would be something.
The time has come to fight it out. It's race day.
Silverstone is certainly a circuit rich in Formula One history. From Giuseppe Farina winning the first championship race held here in 1950, right through to Lewis Hamilton's 2008 masterclass on racing in the rain.
So, Karun, how do you think the Alfa Romeo driver is going to be feeling going into this race?
I think it's really great to see them performing at this level, well above what we'd expected. They must be feeling good.
This is sure to be quite the spectacle then, and we've got a front row seat for today's race here at Silverstone.
So this is definitely a one-stoppable race, but we do tend to struggle on the soft tire, on the hard tires. So one option I do have is to really, really protect those softs and the mediums. Try and go for the long one stop like that. It's actually a second quicker than mediums to hards. And it's just about a second quicker than the two-stop. And given how bad we are at pit stops, it makes sense to see if we can pull this strategy off. So we'll try it. Don't know if it'll work, but we'll try it. We'll try and protect the tyres as much as we can. We're going to go an extra 2 laps of fuel. Going to push hard-ish off the line, but not hard on the tyres, because we've got to make those things last. And we're going to give up the lead pretty quickly. And Isaac might get overtaken as well. But we're playing the long game in this one, so they'll be trying to keep in the train. Hopefully there'll be cars in front on mediums that start on mediums, and then we can really protect the softs behind them. While we don't have amazing top speed, we do have really good downforce. Our dirty air is pretty good. Our DRS is very good. So yeah, we'll see what we can do, and whether we can actually just about stretch these tyres out. Let's head to the grid for the British Grand Prix.
The British Grand Prix is nearly upon us. The drivers composing themselves on the grid ahead of 52 laps around Silverstone.
I'm seeing softs.
Alfa Romeo's driver focused on the race ahead.
They're on pole, and it's well deserved. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do.
And it'll be exciting to see just what will happen here today.
It's going to make things tricky.
Hold on tight. It's the British Grand Prix.
Leclerc on softs. Max and Magnussen on
and
mediums.
Away we go.
Oh, we've got a VSC right at the beginning.
Two secs. There's been a crash.
Is that Oscar who was taken out?
Turn 1. Dangerously close to each other.
It was.
Oh, that's quite an impact between
Damage
them.
to Oscar's
I wouldn't
car.
be surprised if
Big
there were a
damage
few
to the front
words
wing of Zhou's
exchanged
car.
when they get back to the
Damage
paddock.
to the rear wing of Oscar's car. So Oscar's race is screwed.
As for the team back in the garage, that was a tough moment to watch.
Oscar is absolutely screwed. He's going to have no DRS for the entire race now. We've got a full safety car.
Remember the delta, okay? Keep working those tires and brakes.
And Piastri and Zhou are both out. Now, is either one of those going to get a penalty? Oh, we're going to be so fat with fuel. But this is really going to help our strategy. Someone got the penalty. Who was it? It was Zhou. I thought it would be Zhou. He turned in on Oscar. So Behrman will lead a lap of the opening, of his home race. He's going to lead the next 2 or 3 laps. It's just a question of whether he can stay there after the safety car, which I really, really doubt. Max got ahead of Leclerc. That helps a little bit because Leclerc is onto the softs. Norris on hard tyres behind Hajar, that helps as well. There'll be less pressure coming from Norris than if it was Russell directly behind. And you can see the difference of running in clean air versus dirty air on the tyre temps here between Behrman and Hajar. Behrman now tucked up behind the safety car, so those temps will go up a little bit. But yeah, very explosive start. So how many laps are we going to be behind the safety car? The more the better in terms of our tyre life, but we already had 2 extra laps of fuel. We've now got nearly 3 extra laps of fuel. It's about 1.9 kilos for a full lap. So when we get 5.7, which is any second now, that'll be 3 laps of fuel. We'll burn it off over the course of the race, but if we end up with too much more than that. If we go beyond 4 laps, then that might be a bit of a problem. It will certainly impact our speed a little bit until we can burn that off. Always the downside to overfueling is if you get a safety car very early into the race, it can just completely ruin your strategy because your car just becomes ridiculously heavy. Evening, Baron. So a weekend that had a little bit of promise for Oscar is ruined, thanks to that shunt from Joe. And Mick is not having a great afternoon. He's not having a great weekend. Down in 14th place at the moment. Started 16th, has gained 2 places by dint of 2 cars in front of him retiring. It's gone so wrong at Alfa since we left. It really has. We left them in really strong condition as well. I'm surprised that they are where they are. .4 kilos. That's a lot. That's about to be 4 laps of fuel now. No, wait, I've got my maths wrong. 6.7 is 3 laps of fuel, isn't it? 1.9, then 3.8. Then 6.7. So yeah, now we're at 3 laps of fuel. Got my maths completely wrong. So 7.6. No, it's 5.7. So we're about 5.5 laps of fuel at the moment. When we get to 7.6, that's when we're at 4 laps of fuel. And that's going to happen pretty soon. Is the safety car coming in this lap? Or is it going to stay out for an extra lap? It's coming in this lap, thank God for that. Okay. And we would have probably have gained an extra kilo on top of what we've got now had we had the cars in full fuel saving mode. So that's why I left them in full burn. It does make a difference when you're behind a safety car or running a VSC with your fuel load like that. Let's see how quickly Max pushes past. Hoping that Norris will frustrate Russell for a few laps. Max and Leclerc side by side. Leclerc on those softs. Boxed in behind us. And Max retakes the position. And he's going to get past Behrman. And Russell has got through as well. And now Leclerc is through as well. So the risk that we have running this strategy is that we lose a lot of confidence by getting overtaken a lot in quick succession here.
Here's the replay. Now this was the Alfa.
That's not the yellow flag. What is the yellow flag?
Oh, we've had a crash.
Stroll and Belichick. And that's Belichick's crash there. That's his mistake. Credit to Lance that he didn't make the mistake there. Behrman under pressure from Porsche. DRS will kick in on this next lap. And Hajar has somehow got back in front of the Ferrari, stayed in front. I did not expect him to stay in front. I'm just making sure that we don't get caught out by a breakaway from the Red Bulls. Hajar might even be able to get a sneaky move done, but not here. Tucked up in the slipstream of the Williams. That'll help us defend against Russell. Got 4 Brits in the top 10 at the moment. Behrman in 3rd, Russell 7th, Norris 8th, Albon in 9th. That's all 4 Brits in the Grand Prix. And again, we're keeping the gap consistent at the moment, so there's no real need for us to try and push forward. I'm going to drop the overtake risk down. Another yellow flag. It's all kicking off here at Silverstone. It's a lock-up for Alex Albon. So I was just saying how we've got all the Brits in the top 10, and Albon's going to drop himself to the back of the grid with this lock-up, potentially.
They were just unable to do much about it.
Yeah, he's at the back of the grid. So, disastrous weekend now for Aston Martin's 17th and 18th at their home event. Let's check tyre wear. So, we're looking very good right now. Looking very good indeed. Gonna try just knocking the tyre wear down even more.
Copy.
So we are going for that cautious one stop. We've got to be careful with the tyres, can't push them if we want to make this strategy work. And the more life we can save on the softs now, the more leeway we'll have on the mediums later. And you see our tyre wear against prediction is above the line on both cars. That's good. And we've actually managed to drop Porsche just about. Oh, he's just snuck back in. Don't want Porsche to get dropped, not yet. Because then it leaves Hajar adrift. Let the Red Bulls fight amongst each other. Them scrapping like this is making it much easier for Ollie to stay with them as well. Try and get a little bit of battery into his car. I'm loath to do it with Isaac, given that Russell is behind him with soft tyres. But we've got a bit of a gap to Porsche. So I think we can get away with it with Behrman. There we go. Probably try and save a little bit here. Given we are tucked right up behind that Williams. Tyres definitely not in the optimal window, so we do leave ourselves vulnerable like this. If a car can get alongside us, one be very sparing and not just leaving them in harvest for 2 or 3 laps in a row. Leclerc's tyres really starting to struggle, and we've got another yellow flag. And that is Stroll.
Let's take a closer look. Now this one involves
Stroll doing Stroll things.
Oh, all right so far. And the car fails
Oh,
to
that's a
respond. But
very
that's just the
amateurish
risk you take.
mistake
The
there.
later you leave it.
Wow. I don't think I've ever seen anyone make that mistake there. Now Magnussen is in danger of getting dropped, so we might have to try and punch our way past Magnussen in a moment. Yeah, he is just going to get dropped, so we want to punch through. There we go. Nice little confidence boost there for Isaac. Keep pushing just to close that gap back up. There we go. So we're running 3rd and 5th. And we're looking really good right now. Just letting Red Bull fight amongst themselves, slow each other down. This is one of those really strange races. If you don't quite have the car, then a one-stop can be a tricky one to pull off, medium to hard, because the AI will just be able to go quicker than you, and if they drop you, you're in trouble. But conversely, a two-stop can also be tricky because the AI can look after their tyres better than you can half the time, and they might find themselves suddenly you just might, even on new tyres, you just might not have the pace to close up quickly enough, so that by the time you have pushed the tyres enough to catch up, you've got nothing left to fight with. It's a very strange race, this. If you don't quite have the car, it could be a very tricky race to try and win. But we're doing all right. Like I said, we are really stretching these softs beautifully right now. Long way above the line for both drivers, and this will make it much easier for us on the mediums. Burnt off some of that extra fuel down to 5.2 kilos. So we've burnt off, what, about 2 kilos of fuel since the restart. Long way to go. And that might be the first mistake that we've made. Just about kept Porsche at bay. And we are still just about close enough to the Red Bulls. Okay, we got away with that. That could have been problematic. But I think Behrman's battery is just about full now, so we can leave him in top-up mode and just focus our attention on getting Isaac's battery done. Bit of a gap opened up between the two McLarens, 2 seconds. So we've got 2 trains. This front train of the front 8 cars, and then another train from 9th to 14th. And Verstappen and Leclerc swapping places yet again. Oh, the Red Bulls have hit each other.
And oh dear, that's Max Verstappen.
The Red Bulls have hit each other. I heard the shunt. It happened just off screen. Oh. I think that was your fault, Max. I think you turned in on Leclerc there. And now we've got a bit of a lead with them. It won't last for very long. But Max down to 16th place, Leclerc in 5th place. Let's take a look at damage. There is some front wing damage to that Red Bull. Tyres looks like he got away with it. Max has got the penalty. Doesn't appear to have any front wing damage. See, Porsche is closing up on Behrman, and now he's not in dirty air. Those tyres are starting to cool down too much. It's been a crazy Silverstone so far. Safety car on lap 1. Multiple collisions since then and lockups. Now the Red Bulls have hit each other. Generally, we tend to see cars go to around about lap 25, 26, around about half distance when they on the one stop. So let's keep an eye on Leclerc and Russell on those softs. See what tyres they go on to. They're due to box pretty soon.
Try to go faster.
Copy.
Porsche now smelling blood. You can sense an opportunity. We've dropped Magnussen, so this might give Leclerc a chance to get back through. Maybe, but not just yet. There's a new fastest lap for Teo. And I'm going to get nervous anytime a car goes side by side with us through turn 1 now, having seen 2 collisions happen there. Max sets a new fastest lap. So he still has pace in his car. Teo can't get the move done. Well, he's not there. He'll have another go on the hanger straight. Now we're going to try and push away a little bit. And Schumacher is into the pits along with Giovinazzi. So we're seeing some medium runners coming in quite early. Does this mean that they're going for a 2-stop? Must be. It is soft tyres. That is a 2-stop confirmed. Excellent stop. And a slower stop, but also 2-stopping confirmed there. Hajar gets through on Behrman, on Porsche. Behrman had just about broken the 1 second gap. That will close up again now. And there we go, we've broken the 1 second. Russell now into the pits. And that's soft tyres for the Alpine, medium tyres for Russell. So Russell's 2-stopping as well. Oh, that's the Mercedes mechanics, not the Alpines. It's a 2-stop for Belichak. So now that we've broken away, I'm going to try and rebuild that battery. Told Behrman to pull over and not fight so that he didn't lose confidence. Hajar is already at peak confidence. He wouldn't really have gained anything from overtaking, but it would have hurt Ollie. And we've got the gap up to 2 seconds now. We can go an extra couple of laps. Probably got another 2 laps with Behrman, 3 laps with Isaac at this kind of pace. New fastest lap for Schumacher. That might be beyond us tonight, the fastest lap. But it was only an incentive. not really a viable target when we're trying to conserve tyres like this. Might even have another 3 laps in Ollie before I have to box him. That would be excellent if we can go another 3 laps. Leclerc has yet to box. Makes me think he might be trying for a 1-stop as well. About to be attacked by Ocon and Norris. Ocon's got past his teammate there. Stroll into the box. It is a very slow pit lane here. And another fastest lap for Schumacher. He's doing 1:28.4s. What are we doing right now? 1:30.6s. Ooh, 2 seconds lap quicker than us. But a long way back. And we're lapping half a second quicker than Porsche. Who is better, De Vries or Sargent? To start, De Vries, but Sargent has more potential. If you can get him into a good, training regime quickly, get your driver sim upgraded as fast as you can, then Sargent has the potential to become a very respectable driver. But Sargent is the lowest rated driver in the game to start after the original starting drivers. Leclerc is finally in. Those tyres were screaming at him. And that's a wing change as well. He's going hard tyres, so that is a 1-stop strategy. He should take... Oh, and Max is straight in as well. Penalty for Max. Max is going for the 1-stop as well. And with an issue for pit in the pits there for Tsunoda.
So it's Yuki Tsunoda who came in. But they run into trouble.
He's 1-stopping as well. And he might have been held for Leclerc there, who had a front wing change. He was held for Leclerc. Disaster. Right, 1 more lap with Ollie. 2 more laps for Isaac. And then we will be in great shape on those mediums.
Box.
Copy, Bob.
Opened up a nice healthy lead over Porsche now, 3.5 seconds. Let's get some battery into Hajar before we box him. Come on, move over. I don't want the high aggression overtake. I don't want to risk a collision. There we go. Didn't work. Never mind. I was trying to get a little bit of extra confidence into Ollie. We've got Ocon and Maloney diving into the pits behind us. So, this is where our team hits its weakness in the pits. .1, and we got held for Maloney. But we hold position against him because he was just pulling in, not pulling out. We've stayed ahead of Ocon as well. Schumacher's in front of us, so he's made some good progress, but he's got to stop again. Let's not forget. Right, let's see. Leclerc is down in 14th place right now and is 7 seconds behind Behrman. So that's really good. Max completely out of contention, down in 17th place. Porsche staying out there. I wonder if he's going to try and go onto softs, or if he's going to go onto hards. Gasly's in as well. It's another 3.3 second stop for Isaac. Gasly's going for hards on his one stop. And Hajar comes out just in front of his teammate. Who's still driving in clean air. I forgot to turn that off. There we go. Magnussen finally boxes. Porsche has stayed out. Norris has stayed out. We are being caught by Giovinazzi. But his soft tyres are already taking a hit, and Ocon's got past him. Ocon is also one stopping, but he's on hard tyres. That is a one stop for Magnussen. And we get out in front of the Williams. He's going to drop out, maybe behind Sainz. Yeah, just behind Sainz. All right, Ocon is in DRS range. So now that we've got the tyres up to temp, we're going to break away a little bit, or try and break away a little bit. We are going to need to do some tyre saving at some point. Let's get that started on Isaac now. Porsche's in. Down to 2.6 kilos of spare fuel, so that is about a lap and a third spare fuel. Hard tyres for Porsche. Who will come out behind that big train of cars, potentially. Yeah, there goes Magnussen and Sainz and Tsunoda and Leclerc. Porsche down to 13th.
Copy.
So we are net P1 and P2 at the moment. Ocon is net P3. So he's had a good run so far. He's definitely benefited from the Red Bulls making a mistake. Maloney sets a new fastest lap on 1:27.8, beyond us in terms of pace, I think. Norris is still out there. Always on hards, isn't he? Norris could go soft. He's a master at looking after his tyres. He could go softs, which would make him very quick at the end. He is currently 14 seconds clear of us. So he'll probably come out around about 12 to 14 seconds behind at that kind of gap. See Isaac taking a slightly defensive line there down the old start-finish straight. And there in the background, that Red Bull is Charles Leclerc. P11 right now. He will get back in the points, but I don't know if he's going to have the pace for the win. And at this point, the longer Norris stays out, the more work he's going to have to do once he boxes. Because he's being caught by everybody right now. switched them over, and there is Norris into the pits. Speaking of. He's gone mediums. That was a quick stop as well. Where's he going to shake out? '13th place, so he's got his work cut out for him, but he's on quicker tyres than most of the cars in front, and Russell, Schumacher, Giovinazzi are all stopping again. Everyone else whose tyres are in the 80s, probably going to the end. Tsunoda, Sainz, Leclerc may stop again. Just about to start your first race. How much fuel should you put in? If your car isn't good, then overfueling can help keep you in DRS range of the cars in front, but who have you gone with? Are you with Williams? AlphaTauri. Second season. No more than 2 laps then. You'll burn most of that off, if not all of it off, before the first pit stop. But no more than 2 laps. Alright, so we're about 5 seconds behind Russell and Schumacher. We are slowly closing them down, very slowly. It's another yellow flag. Someone running wide? No, someone's had a spin. Belichak's.
So we're heading now into turn 5. Round
Oh,
they spin.
that's a big spin.
There's not much they can do about that now.
Very big spin.
And clearly they're not...
Yeah, you could go with that song. You could also go with I'm Spinning Around by Kylie Minogue. And Belichak's boxed as a result of that spin. Probably destroyed what's left of those soft tyres. So this will be probably mediums. Yeah, mediums. Tidy stop. We are going to go for a breakaway again soon. Just trying to build up a little bit of extra tyre life. So I can run them at normal pace for the rest of the race. Probably go another 3 or 4 laps like this. And Schumacher's in. So, will this be mediums or softs for Schumacher? He started on the mediums, so he could theoretically go soft again, but he might not have a new set of softs. He has. He's going for a new set of softs. Well, are they new? Let's see when he exits the pits. They are new, brand new.
Try to pick up a bit more pace.
Copy.
A little potential problem here. Don't really want to use the battery, but I might have to. There we go, in front of me. Damn it. Another yellow flag.
Now we should be able
No,
to
that's the
take a look
overtake.
here.
Don't want to see that again. Is that Albon making a mistake? It is.
Let's take a look at the replay. Here we are down at turn 7. And there goes the
Oh,
steering.
that's the same.
And they'll need
That's
to
a
be
very
mindful
similar
of the
mistake to what
effect
Stroll
that
did,
had
only
on the tyres.
that probably had a worse effect in terms of time lost. And we are coming up to lap. No, that's not lapping Stroll. That is Russell. 4.5 seconds in front of us. We've just been gradually chipping away at him. We're coming under pressure again. And this is because we're having to drive defensively to hold back Maloney. Stick to the racing line. There we go. Nicely done. Back into range. Schumacher again setting fastest laps. 1:27.5. He could actually get himself some decent points tonight. Ocon having another little look, just doesn't have the grip on those hard tyres. We are going to be breaking away soon. Evening, Anthony. Another yellow flag. That's a Red Bull. Is that Max? It is. Oh, he's having a terrible evening.
Seventh corner. And there's the lockup. By that point, it was just too late.
Russell's into the pits. New set of softs. Oh, and it's a bad stop. Oh, what a disaster. The Brits are not having a good afternoon, apart from Ollie. There we go. Behrman is back through. And that is Ocon dropped. Let him and Maloney squabble amongst themselves for the final podium spot. Leclerc's back up to 6th place. And we have set the fastest lap. I did not expect that. 1:27.2. Russell might have something to say about that.
1:09.
If you have a bad car to the extent that there is no recovering, should I sacrifice the current season and focus on developing, even if it's the first race? Do you mean by developing, do you mean research? It depends on what the regulation changes are. If you've got big regulation changes in a particular part, then obviously you want to focus research on that. But you don't want to just not develop the car. You still want to do some development. You can make much bigger gains through development than you can through research. So if you want to focus on research, my advice would be do one new part with all of your hours per ATR period to try and improve key parts. And then after that, you want to, do 3 research projects. And at least that way you're getting some development on the car and you're spreading it across the car over the season. Otherwise, you're going to do all this research and then your opponents are just going to have a big march on you at the end of the season. Especially if you're in hard mode. Right, Maloney has managed to get back in range thanks to us pulling Hajar over in an awkward spot. We are going to need to drop him. There goes the fastest lap again. Schumacher this time, 1:27.1. We're going to have to try and break away from Maloney again. There we go. Broke the DRS. Hopefully that will be all she wrote now, and we can just cruise to a nice, comfortable 1-2. How did he get DRS? He was outside of the 1 second at the detection point. Ugh. That's annoying. There's no point doing that now. I need to wait till Ollie's got a bit more battery. Otherwise, I'm just going to still drag Maloney with me. Another yellow flag. Is that Williams making a mistake this time? No, it's Schumacher running wide.
Heading into Copse. And they just can't keep on the track. But all being well and fingers crossed, no lasting damage to the
Same
car.
corner as father went off and broke his leg. A new fastest lap for Norris. So he's recovered up through the order.
Okay, we need to push a bit more.
Yeah, copy.
Can we stay away from Maloney this time? a good start. There we go. Got the gap up to 1.5 seconds, give or take. A couple of hundredths. He's a persistent little bugger, is Zay Maloney. Trying to close that gap back up. Oh, God damn it, he's gone back in the DRS again. Can your drivers make costly mistakes if the tyres are overheating? They are more likely to lock up if the tyre temps are too high, if their control rating isn't very, very good. Just the more heat in the tyres, the more heat in the brakes, and if the brake cooling isn't very good, then yeah, you are increasing your chances of locking up if your drivers are on a aggressive push and the tyres are melting. Right, so it looks like Maloney was pushing on that last lap and he's dropped back again. So hopefully that's broken the back of his challenge there. Yeah, he's dropped right off. He was a second slower almost on that lap. I've always banged the drum for brake cooling, especially in the early seasons when it's just a low percentage number anyway. Once you had a few seasons, even if it's low in the rankings, but it's still in the 80%, you should be fine. Yeah, you might still make the odd mistake, but nothing as drastic as when your brakes are down at 40 and 50% as they are in season 1. It can improve your tyre wear as well, because you're able to dissipate the heat out of the tyres a bit better. Not a huge amount, but it, you know, just a little bit. It all adds up. And there we go, looks like we have broken the back of Maloney's charge now. We are going to be putting Behrman back in front of Hajar. in a lap or so. Biggest problem with the costly mistakes with the lockups is just the way that the cars rejoin the track. Another yellow flag. Someone spun. Oh, Charles Leclerc. Oh, he'd fought his way all the way back up into the points. And that ruins his afternoon. That drops him out of the points. So disastrous Grand Prix for Red Bull here. Leclerc in 12th, Verstappen in 14th. And Leclerc, with just 5.5 laps to go, is now 11 seconds off the points. So he's not getting those. His tyres are cooked as well now, thanks to that spin.
So let's pick up the pace. Okay.
Didn't get the move done. I'm surprised by that. All right, this time he's going to get him. There we go. Behrman goes through. And we've got enough tyres to comfortably sit in this pace window. We'll save some wear on the ERS as well for the last few laps now that we've got a 3-second lead. So let's take a look further down the order. Russell did get in front of Schumacher's, got better tyres. Schumacher's tyres now into puncture territory, as are Charles Leclerc's tyres, who's down to 13th now. Gasly's got him. He's being harassed by his teammate, whose tyres are also close to puncture territory. Giovinazzi's going to try and get the pair of them. If we see a yellow flag pop up in the next lap or two, it might well be for a puncture for one of those cars below 30%. Oh, Norris has got up into third, so we're going to have 2 Brits on the podium, potentially.
I think we need to start getting a little bit quicker.
Yeah, Norris is pushing hard, closing that gap down. I might have to come out of battery saving.
More laps.
There's Max lining up Leclerc. And Max is through. Max is off and away. Yeah, Norris 1.2 seconds quicker on that last lap. He is closing. He is definitely closing. He's going to get the DRS. We should be able to fight him off. He is absolutely flying. I think we've done enough. We've done enough. So Behrman wins his home Grand Prix at the first attempt. Hajar in second. Norris takes the final step on the podium. 2 Brits on the podium at Silverstone. Fantastic stuff. Russell finishes in 9th place. And Albon is dead last. There he is, a long way off the pace. And let's see what's going on with the Red Bulls. Leclerc just manages to get back in front of Max. How those tyres survived, not quite sure. Schumacher's tyres hung on as well. He managed to bring it home for the final point. Decent recovery for him, starting in 16th. Made the 2-stop work a little bit for him, but had the Red Bulls not done their thing, and Piastri and Zhou had their coming together, could well have only been 14th for Mick, thanks to his lock-up. but it's maximum points for Alfa Tauri, no points, sorry, for Alfa Romeo, no points for Red Bull. That's going to close things up a little bit in the constructors, and that could potentially put Ollie back on top.
Wasn't that a fantastic drive from the Alfa Romeo driver?
An inspired strategy from the team there. What a well-deserved win that was.
Oh, that's a wonderful scene. The team getting their first chance to congratulate their driver on a job well done. So then, Karun, in terms of the Alfa Romeo team, how will they be feeling after that?
I was just about to say no Holly, and there she is.
They can be much happier. A win and a podium place. What a great way to round out the weekend.
And here in Silverstone, the weekend now draws to a close.
Next round, we're moving on to an exhilarating circuit. Formula One will be taking to the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix.
So there we go then, confirmation of the final result. Ollie Bearman wins his home Grand Prix. Isaac, a great race for him, up 6 places to finish in second. Norris, a good race for him as well, up into take 3rd place and the fastest lap as well. So some really solid points for Norris. Maloney up 10 places, Ocon up 7. It's a really good, successful race for McLaren tonight. And for Haas, with Porsche in 6th. That is solid points for both of those teams there. Williams gets some points with Kevin Magnussen ahead of Carlos Sainz. George Russell in 9th. Schumacher bringing up the rear to finish in 10th with the final point. Looking at the bottom half of the standings, there you see Yuki Tsunoda in 11th. Gasly up 8 places to finish in 12th. Red Bull 13th and 14th. Both drivers kicking themselves and probably each other in the debrief after they're coming together. Max hitting Leclerc, getting a penalty. Charles having to change his front wing. Disastrous race for them. And Giovinazzi in 15th ahead of Stroll. Bellajac's Albon, the last of the runners, in 18th, a long way off the pace. And Piastri and Zhou both taken out in the first corner of lap 1. Let's have a look at the drivers' standings. Ollie goes top in the drivers' standings by 20 points from Charles Leclerc. Max Verstappen is a further 10 points back. Isaac in 4th place is now looking a little bit more comfortable from Norris. He's now got that gap up to 4 points from 2 that it was earlier on. He is 35 points behind Max, still a way off, but who knows? If Red Bull have more afternoons like that, who knows what could happen with Isaac. Oscar, no points again for the reigning world champion. He is now a long way off. He is 86 points behind Ollie Bearman. Schumacher climbs up into 7th place, 1 point above Zhou, who failed to score any points tonight. There is Ocon getting 10 points, closes the gap to Zhou to just 5 points now. Porsche climbs a position as well, jumping over Gasly, who had a bad race. Maloney in 12th place gains 12 more points. He's just a point behind Gasly now. Sainz in 13th. Then it's Russell in 14th. Ferrari really are struggling, aren't they? 24 points for George, just 6 points for Stroll. 30 points for the whole team across the first 11 races. That is pretty bad. And Magnussen has jumped Yuki Tsunoda as well, thanks to his points. He's now 4 points clear of the Japanese driver and 6 points behind George Russell. Let's take a look at the constructor standings. Red Bull, 0 points tonight. We get the maximum 43. We didn't quite get the 44th point because we didn't get the fastest lap, but we got first and second. So we closed the gap to just 15 points to Red Bull. McLaren with solid points tonight, jump above Alfa Tauri, the reigning Constructors Champions, down into 4th place now, just a point earned tonight. They are 47 points above Haas, who hit triple digits tonight. Mercedes a distant 6th ahead of Aston Martin. Alpine moved level with Aston, but have a lower highest position by the look of it, or lowest overall highest positions. They are behind despite the tie break. Ferrari on 30 points, 1 point ahead of Williams, who picked up 6 points tonight. Very close between these two at the bottom of the standings here. Into the pit stop window. So it's a fastest stop for Max, then Mick, Norris, Ferrari getting both their cars in the top 5. Good points for them. McLaren get both of their cars in the top 10. And there's also some points for Alpine, Aston, and Mercedes and Williams. So it is Red Bull top on 350 points, a long way clear of AlphaTauri. They are 113 points clear. Ferrari, a little bit of a distant third place there. They are 49 points behind AlphaTauri. There is 39 points behind. Get that right. McLaren are also trailing by a decent margin. They are 35 points behind Ferrari, but they're a long way clear of Mercedes. Mercedes are 71 points down. Then it's Alpine, Aston Martin, Haas. Williams get another point to close to within 1 of Haas. We are yet to score still. Our best stop tonight was a 3.1 second stop, half a second slower than 10th place. Ugh. Pit crew just doesn't seem to be improving. And I have to start focusing more on pit crew time, I think, to get some speed training in there. Let's see how our driver report cards look. So 5 successful overtakes, 6 failed for Isaac, 16 successful defences, 3 failed. Solid work from him. And then 4 and 8 going forward for Behrman, 10 and 4 in defence. Again, numbers are slightly fudged because we were keeping them behind each other, not letting them fight each other. But good defending numbers. That's mainly from defending against cars behind them other than their teammates. So, yeah, very good defensive work for both of our drivers today. As far as the sponsors go, it's not a massive payout, 3.6 mil, but it's 1.2 more than we would normally get. We didn't get the fastest lap, but we did get both cars into Q3. We also got both cars in the top 10 in the finishing position, both cars into Q2 and both cars in the top 10 as the guarantee for qualifying as well. So not bad at all. So speaking of fisticuffs between the two Red Bull drivers, let's share one last memory of Senna that I still remember watching again live. It was Suzuka, 1993, and a young Eddie Irvine decided he wanted to unlap himself from Ayrton Senna twice before finally being blue flagged again, letting Senna back through again. And at the end of the race, Senna stormed into the Jordan pit crew, yelled a lot of nasty swear words at Irvine, and then punched his helmet. I still remember that as well, clear as day. Okay, so we have some scout results back from Ferrari. Let's take a look. First of all, let's check our cars. We've got to replace the chassis on both cars. The side pods on Ollie's car and his suspension as well. Let's see. We've got Rester's details. He's got 18 months left on his contract. Stroll has only 6 months left, so he might be gone by the time we actually get there. George has 18 months left, so he'll have 1 year left on his contract. He'll be someone we can potentially buy out. His buyout fee currently is 16 mil. That will probably be about 10 to 12 mil at the end of the year or start of the new year. But what is going to happen with Stroll? Can't imagine he's going to keep his seat. Who else is going to be up? Schumacher, I think, is out of contract at the end of the season. No, Oscar's out of contract at the end of the season. I'm not sure about Mick. Mick might have another year to go. That could be interesting. Let's see, monthly car development report. There you can see our numbers are pretty much what we expected them to be. We are going to get some more development going in a second. We have got more money now. Actually, no, we are not going to get more development going because we haven't got any slots available, have we? We have got a report from the board, high confidence. We never actually checked to see what they thought of our double 1-2 at Austria. Guessing they were pretty delighted by that, and they should be delighted with our 1-2 here tonight as well. But let's check in with the board. And yeah, there you go. What a season we've had so far. We were satisfied, I think, with the opening round in Bahrain. Satisfied in Baku. They've been delighted with everything else we've done so far this season. We are now just 3 races away, 3 points finishes away from completing our long-term objective in the first season. And, well, yeah, I think it's impossible for us to lose all the way down into 10th place in the constructor standing. So we've pretty much already completed the season objective as well. We are comfortably ahead of that. We're on 271 points. And so, yeah, it's unlikely that we're going to suddenly slump to 10th by the end of the year if we have a bad run of form. Let's get our drive development update, see how our drive has improved. Isaac is now an 87 overall against an 86 for Ollie. Cornering and braking both improved by a point. It's up to 91 in cornering now, 82 in braking. Ollie has improved his overtaking and his defending. That's good. Needed an extra point in overtaking there. And let's get some pit crew training done in just a second. Let's check in with the Formula 1 report for June. So Red Bull have a new chassis and they are working on a new underfloor. McLaren say it's going great, as it rightly is. They are probably exceeding expectations so far. There you see them in 4th place, 132 points, closing the gap to Alfa Romeo. Lando in 5th in the constructors, Ocon in 9th, both drivers in the top 10. Right, let's get some pit crew training done. So we've got a little bit of a gap until the next Grand Prix. Let's give them the Monday off, as we like to do. Let's give them a solid week of gym training. Okay, and then we start the excuse me, the summer break after Spa. So we're going to go full on gym training again. For the week after Spa. And we'll give them the Monday off. So that's our training for the month. That's it. Just 6 days of solid gym training on the run up to Hungary. And then the first week of the summer break, they will do a 6 day solid run of gym training again. That will improve our estimated pit stop time by 700ths. We will continue to do more training over the rest of summer break, but we'll kind of split that up a bit, I think, just to stop their fatigue from getting too high. Got a little way to go until we get to that point there. You can see the numbers aren't great, but we haven't been making mistakes, so it's not too bad. You see our current performance. We had don't know where those 2 second stops came from, because we haven't had stops down at 2 seconds. Yeah, I'm not sure where those have come from, unless they were races where we pitted under a safety car. Might be the case. You can see we're averaging just over 3 seconds. We're probably around about 3.2 as an average at the moment. Really could do with getting that down below 3 seconds as quickly as we can. Got a nice chunk of cash. Let's swap out these car parts. Ooh, a lot of parts going to fail after Hungary here. 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. Maybe an underfloor as well. That's a lot of potential failures there. And another 2 potential failures. Another 2 failures to come there, and a potential underfloor failure there as well. Swap out that suspension. Swap out that chassis. So we've got no spare chassis again. Put in the new side pod. Let's see. So we're not working on chassis at the moment, so we're going to have to make some more. Let's make 2 more of those. I've got 2 underfloors on the way. That's good. New side pods are coming. That one's just been changed. That one's at risk, so we'll have no spare side pods after we swap that over. But we should be good until we get the next side pods manufactured, which will be in time, hopefully, for Zandvoort. The rear wing will be ready in time for Zandvoort, so we haven't got to worry about replacement rear wings. Suspension will be ready in time for Zandvoort. Might even have one on the car for Spa, but I'm wary of that, given it's a sprint weekend. Let's see. How many suspensions have I got? I've got 1 spare so far, and 1 about to fail. Okay. I'm okay on suspensions. Alright, that's looking pretty good. So I've got 10.2 mil. When do I have a slot opening up? 6 days for a suspension. Right. Look at another chassis, I don't know. Might go straight into research from that point there. Let's have a look at facilities. So, the factory upgrade still 79 days away, but it is going to give us a nice little boost. Speed up production of parts. There you can see our design center. Level 2, would be nice to get that up to level 3. 11.5 mil will take a long time to upgrade as well, so we probably won't get the benefit this year. Wind tunnel also would be nice to get that up another level, but it's only just been refurbed, so probably not bother with that. CFD sim's fine, suspension sim's fine, car parts sim's fine. We can go ahead and upgrade the race sim. Finally. Let's also upgrade our weather center. We can't afford to refurb the hospitality. Helipad is going to break soon. We'll have to give that a refurb. Tour center also going to break soon. We'll need to swap those over after Hungary, if not before. Or, beef them up again. Let's advance time a little bit. F1 in schools invitation. We are not going to pause our staff development. Let some other team go. Low stock on side pods and suspensions. We know about that. There is a spare underfloor. Excellent. So we now have 4 ready to replace the 2 that are looking a bit iffy. There is the new suspension. Let's get that into manufacturing. I don't have the money. Let's not get that into manufacturing. Whoops. Spent too much money. Not broken. Not broken. Okay. New regulations vote. Okay. Sporting changes for the next season. Let's have a look. So, They propose a single bonus championship point to be awarded to pole position. Ooh, I've not raced with a pole position bonus point before. Let's vote for that. That'll be interesting. Got a little bit of extra cash as the new week's ticked over, but still not enough to start building a suspension. Hasn't broken yet. There we go. Now we've got enough money. And the helipad's broken. How long will it take to refurb? It says it's in max condition. It won't let us refurb it today. So instead, we will get the first suspension into production. A few days late, but at least we can get that started. There we go. So we are going into tomorrow's Grand Prix with just $8,000 in the bank. Oh, we had 12.5 million a moment ago. It's all gone already. Okay. It is an ATA weekend. That could potentially make qualifying a little interesting. It's going to be cloudy. So that will keep tyre temps down a bit. It's going to be very cool on the Sunday. So hard tyres will struggle. Keep their temperatures up unless you push them, I think. Yeah, that could make qualifying quite tricky on the Saturday in that first session. Got to make sure those tyres are switched on properly. We will be back tomorrow at the usual time of 8 p.m. for round 12 at the Hungaro Ring. Until then, thanks for watching tonight's impressive performance at Silverstone. Another 1-2, which I was not expecting, I have to say. I thought we might struggle a little bit, but we were helped immensely by Red Bull just taking themselves completely out of contention. And the fact that they were squabbling so much, and that early safety car as well on the first lap really enabled us to save the tyres that we needed to in that first stint to be able to make the mediums work in the second stint. So we rode our luck, and it worked out for us. It could have gone a little bit wrong, but I will take that result all day long. Not sure how we'll do at Hungary. It's not typically a track that is power dominant. It's a track that is very much a downforce track. We're very good at downforce, so we do have the potential to do quite well, unless some teams have brought some big upgrades. We'll check that tomorrow. Until then, do go watch some Senna footage on YouTube, on DVD, on Blu-ray, wherever you can find it. Go watch the legend, the ultimate driving machine that was Ayrton Senna in his peak. He was supreme. And until then, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I'm Jim Bob, and I'll be back with more F1 Manager very soon.